What's up, YouTubers? It's your old buddy Hardworker 12, and today I am sitting in a 2022 Hyundai Tucson SEL Plug-In Hybrid, and it is equipped with Hyundai's smart cruise control system with stop and go. So today I am going to show you how to use it. It's a very simple system to activate. When you're out on the road and you're ready to activate the cruise control, you just push this button right here. The car with the little clock on it. It's actually not a clock with a speedometer. Just push it once briefly. It's telling me the smart cruise control conditions are not met because we're sitting in a garage and park. If you push that button and hold it, you're going to activate the maximum speed limiter system. So we're not doing that today. Just push it once briefly and normally to turn on the smart cruise control system. That'll actually engage the cruise at whatever speed you were driving when you push the button. If you want to change your speed, this little toggle switch right here with the plus and minus, bump it up to increase your speed and bump it down to decrease your speed. You also push this toggle switch in like a button to either resume the cruise if you had to hit the brakes or something, or cancel the cruise if you don't want to cruise anymore. That's what this little pause and redo icon are all about. So again, bump it up to increase the speed, bump it down to decrease the speed, and then push to either cancel or resume your cruise control. This little car with the magic carpet coming out of the back of it, that button is to adjust your following distance. And that button on the newer Hyundais, at least 2022 models, that is what lets you know if your car actually has the smart cruise control system. If you have the pause and the redo icon in this button, then it's a base model and it doesn't have the smart cruise. But you push this button to toggle through the different following distances, if you want to use shorter or longer following distance. So those are the basic controls for the adaptive cruise. I'm also going to touch on this button right here. This is for the lane driving assist features on the vehicle. This is not technically part of the adaptive cruise control, but it is something that works very well in concert with the adaptive cruise control. So if I push and hold this button, I get that icon right there on the display screen by the speedometer. And what that means is that the lane keeping assist system is on. So what that does is it'll beep at you if you get out of your lane, if you're drifting out of your lane, and it's able to read the lane lines. And it can also correct your steering if you're drifting out of the lane. When it's active, that icon will actually be green while you're driving. When it's white, it just means that it's on and it's available, but it turns green when the car's cameras can read the lines that differentiate the lanes, so that way it knows when to beep at you if you drift out of your lane or when to correct your steering. Now, if we push this button again one more time, we get a steering wheel right there. And the steering wheel is for the lane following assist. So again, it will turn green when it's active, but what the lane following assist does is it can actually control the steering to keep you in the middle of the lane. Now, it's not a hands-free driving system. It's not autopilot. It does want you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. It'll get angry with you if you don't. You still need to watch the road. You still need to pay attention. But when the steering wheel is lit up green, it's going to try to control the steering to keep you in the middle of your lane. But again, it's not self-driving. You got to keep your hand on the wheel. So with all that being said, let's take this thing out on the road and try it out. All right, so here we are out on the road driving, and we are going to activate the adaptive cruise by pushing that button. Now, as I pushed it, it just picked up the speed I was going at the time, which was 68 miles per hour. And it's not even locked onto the car in front of me, apparently, because I'm not close enough. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to increase my speed a little bit. So now my speed is up to 78 miles an hour. And I'm still waiting for it to lock onto this car. And there it goes. So now I'm locked on to this guy, and since we're kind of out here on our own, I'm going to push this button and toggle through to put myself at the longest distance. You see there the two cars with the 4 dots in between them. So now the car will keep a little bit shorter of a distance. So again, my maximum speed is set to 78 miles an hour. You see that kind of up in the top middle of the screen. But I'm currently only going 63 because that's how fast the car in front of me is going. So what this system does is it maintains a distance between this car and the car in front. So it's very handy, especially for stop and go traffic, which I suppose thankfully I'm not in right now, because this system on this particular Hyundai will bring the vehicle to a complete stop. But if you're on a long drive, it can take some of the fatigue out of driving, because you turn on the adaptive cruise, you set your speed and your distance, and then I have all of the lane centering, lane keep assist stuff on as well. So it's reading the lines that differentiate the lanes, and it's taken kind of some control of the steering, not totally controlling it. I still have my hand on the wheel, and it'll beep at me and get angry if I don't keep my hand on the wheel. But it's just trying to keep the car in the center of the lane. So it's like putting driving on easy mode. A couple of things to keep in mind while you're using this system is what sort of a vehicle am I following? You know, the example I always use here is a flatbed truck with nothing on the bed. Is the car locked on to the actual back of the truck, or is it locked on to the back of the cab? So kind of mind your distances there if you're following, you know, a trailer that's an odd shape, or a vehicle with, you know, rods sticking out of the back of it, you know, like they're hauling rebar or something, or, you know, the empty flatbed truck. Just keep an eye on that. Make sure the car's maintaining a safe distance. Again, this is not self-driving. You are still driving the vehicle. You still need to watch the road, keep your hands on the wheel, and pay attention, but it does give you kind of a layer of automation. I consider it to be a driver aid, and it definitely on a long drive or in stop and go traffic, it's a very nice feature because it just takes a lot of the stress out of it. All right, here we go. We are in traffic, and this is where the adaptive cruise does its best work. So as you can see, I currently have it set at 81 miles an hour. We're doing nowhere near 81 miles an hour. We're doing 19. And I have it set at the shortest following distance. And you can see that up at kind of the top of the screen when you push the button on the steering wheel, this button right here, you adjust your following distance. When I'm in heavy traffic, I always use the shortest one, and the car is just kind of keeping along with this guy in front of me. And is it going to bring itself to a complete stop? 0 miles per hour. There we go. And it started moving again. If your stop is very brief, it will start moving on its own accord. If you're stopped for like 5 seconds or longer, something like that, it will instruct you to either tap the gas pedal or push the resume button, which again is pushing down on this toggle switch right here on the steering wheel. But if you have one of these cars, you seriously need to be using this feature, at least when you're stuck in traffic, because it makes traffic jams so much less stressful, and you will just love it, because I know I do. So that guy got out of the way. We're locked onto the car in front of us. Are we going to come to a complete stop again? Not not quite. We're just creeping along. But see, this is beautiful. We're going 3 miles an hour, but I haven't touched the gas or the brake to do it. He's gonna get out of the way. And we come to a complete stop. And we start moving again. And it's a beautiful thing, my friends. It's a beautiful thing. So again, to turn this whole system on, just push that button with the little car, with the clock looking thing. It's not a clock, it's a speedometer. Push that to get it going on the highway. That'll start the cruise. Adjust your speed by bumping this guy up or down. Adjust your following distance with this one right here, with the car with the road coming out of the back of it. And then the one with the lane lines and the steering wheel. That's going to change your lane keeping assist and toggle that on and off. One quick tip, if you happen to be driving directly into the sunset or the sunrise and you're using the adaptive cruise control as I am now, make sure to keep a good eye on the road, because the sun directly into the car's camera system can confuse it a little bit. So make sure to pay more attention when you're using it then, even though you should always be well aware of what's going on. But just a word to the wise on that one. Sunrise, sunset, heavy rain, heavy fog, heavy snow. If it's a little harder for your eyes to see, it's going to be a little harder for the car's camera to see as well. So keep that in mind. And that is what I have to say about the adaptive cruise control system on the Hyundai Tucson. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, send it to your friends, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. Have a great day. Bye-bye.